Well, the Eternabond tape came today, and it even came with a free pillow. Not that anybody would want to sleep with that noise. I've got a piece of plywood here. I'm going to cut that to go behind the metal that I already put in. I'll get to that later on. I just wanted to get it out and get it ready. That's on the schedule for today. I've also got the other piece of metal for the outside. I haven't got that ready yet, but I want to get a little bit larger measurement for the outside, I think. But this is what I'm going to use for the inside, and we'll go from there. It's supposed to have thunder showers tomorrow, and it already feels like there's a barometer dropping. So we'll have to see what I get done tomorrow. I've still got to pick up the Alex Plus, but I can just run down to Ace to get that. That's close. But I had to order the Eternabond because I couldn't find it anywhere locally, so I had to go online for that. Well, I'd normally get out a chalk line to do this. I had the Sharpie and the ruler out already for this project, so I just used it. I'm going to use the Ryobi cordless battery-powered 1 Plus circular to do the initial cuts. And then I'm going to have to plug in the cord for the jigsaw to do the radius cuts. I actually have some help going to come and hold this, but that's going to be a bit. Well, my help's here. They're going to hold the board for me so it doesn't drop. I'm going to start cutting this board. There's the first cut made. A little breezy. I'm keeping my eyes closed. This one I think I can manage on my own. I don't want to have to get out this sander to smooth those corners a little bit, but I may have to. I think I might try using a file, but I'm not sure that'll do the job. Oh yeah, put that back in the right way. Something I am going to do, and I can smooth these later. First, I'm going to put that out of my way. I'm going to measure that's 21 1/4, so half is 10 5/8. This won't fit in one piece, and I want it to fit the whole frame, so I'm actually going to split this, and I'm going to split it on a 45. Sawdust. Have to adjust the depth of the cut for the 45. I'm just going to put it all the way down. Now with the 45, I can put the one in and then slide the other over it real easily. I had already planned to put a board across on the back of it. I'm going to grab a file and see about rounding these edges a little better. The skill saw didn't do a great, or the jigsaw didn't do a great job at the edges because it doesn't have a permanent fence. It's not a bandsaw, but it's something I will get to. with the file, and if that doesn't work, I'll get out the sander. Well, I got those files, just wanted to smooth out a little bit where the jigsaw didn't get as close as I'd like. Probably didn't need to. I guess now I need to go put them in and clean up a bit first, I think, here before I do that. Just a kind of a note. Even if I had 1,000, 2,000, whatever square foot shop, I would still be doing this same procedure, just because I like my tools to be where they belong, so that when I need one, I know where it is. Might be something to do with OCD. Actually, I've started kind of a video about that, but I'll get back to that on a day when I don't have time to do something else. But keeping your workspace and your tools organized and clean makes a ton of difference. I am leaving out the Sharpie and the tape measure because I do have that other piece that I plan to cut, but I also like to keep my tools where they belong and my workspace clean, even though I have still a couple of rags hanging on my makeshift bench. They're rags and they've been used many times. I'm gonna actually, I think, get a brush and dust this before I take it in the RV and see about getting this at least set in place, even if I don't get it a backing screwed onto it yet. I've got some screws here. Even if I sink them in too deep, they won't go all the way through. But I have made the measurements, so I know approximately where I need to put it on the outside. I will actually mark that before I start screwing, so I have an idea where they need to go, so I don't inadvertently put a screw into my helper's hand. Put some marks here to show where the board, the center of the board, or actually the bottom of the board will be. So I need to go just above that and 3 3/4 inch in from the outside. So just stay to the middle and I should be okay. The board behind it, it'll be a lot better when I get it screwed to it and get the board on the back. I'm going to go inside and show you how it looks. That board on the 45-degree angle did amazing things for how easy it was to get it in. There's the line. I'm going to have to measure if it goes above or below it. I can't remember. But we'll get that done and then we will go from there. I'm going to be on the outside, but I'm going to do some measuring first, and I think that'll get us at least this part of it done. Then I'll need to measure for the outside, the piece I want to put on the outside, and hopefully I've got a partial tube of caulk here. Hopefully it hasn't dried out completely and I can still use it to seal on that outside piece. Got my helper inside holding it on the outside edges, so I'm going to put a screw here in the middle. Oh, don't drop it. I'm actually going to run grab a punch so that I can have a pilot for this. Ready?
Yeah.
I got to figure out something inside. They can't get the leverage they need. Well, hopefully this will do it. I think I need to pre-drill the hole. Well, I ended up having to pre-drill these and put them in partly so I could get it onto the board. About 1/8 of an inch is through. I'm going to try to get these without it pushing too hard. Well, that's a starter. Now I'm going to pre-drill the other holes. I'll probably have to work these in groups. Can you just push against the center of the board now?
Center?
Where that seam is.
Where that?
where the cut is on the plywood. That one missed. I'll put a screw in it.
Okay.
Hold it again. Well, the board wasn't quite centered, so I missed on that one. I'm gonna put another one here. I'm being told that my board isn't straight on the back, but that's okay. I got a partially blind person as a helper. As long as they're in there, I don't care. Okay, I'm doing the front one.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to work these to get the screws all tightened, but if I can get a few to start, that's better. Going back to the front. Well, it looks like I'm going to need to get some more screws, and wow, I need to let this drill air out. It stinks. Okay, let me get the screws started. Press as hard as you can. Okay, I'm going to back out the one on the far right. My left, your right. I'm going to put in another screw. This one's stripped. Okay, now I'm going the middle one that's to the front, taking it out.
What you need to do is wedge something in here.
Yeah, I know, but for now, I don't know what to wedge there. Okay, I'm going to push the one just forward of center. Okay, that one went in good. Now I'm going to try this front one. Okay, I think those will hold. Well, even with the taller helper, I managed to push them when I was doing that, but I got those in tight enough for now. Now I'm going to measure right to the edge of the lip for the outer piece of metal. I'll have to get some different screws with a flat head, and I need to wedge around the back so that that'll stay in place. I'll have to do some measuring on what, so I'll know what to do to wedge that. But for now, I'm just going to measure. .22 1/8 wide. Now where's my paper? Width 22 1/8. Height is 21 1/8. I'm actually just going to go with the same radius as I used on the one inside. So that's going to be the next step, is cutting that outside piece. And I got to check my caulking and see if it's dried out. So I guess I'll get that out as well. I'd originally cut the width on these 22 inches. So I'm going to use that without doing the 22 1/8 that the measurement was. And I'm just going to do the top. Need to grab the Leatherman again. I just managed to exhaust another set of batteries, but I'm really liking the rechargeables. I'm getting a longer life out of them than anything I've tried. Admittedly, I haven't gone with the really expensive name brand high drain batteries, But the name brand regular batteries, I didn't get anything really impressive in terms of use on that. But I am liking these rechargeables, and they are a name brand, somewhat expensive, and they're not even the best that they make. These are only, I think, 1400 amp hour, and they make 2000. I guess these are the middle of the road ones. Okay, I got that cut. I've got to check this caulking. I guess this is as good a place as any to do it. Who knows if it's any good or not. Well, it's pushing it back through the back. Looks like I need to trim it and see if I can... Ah, there we go. Got some right there. Well, I guess it is good. Just had to plug it in. Oh, I don't know where I'm going to go yet. I guess I'll go put a bead of caulk on and then take this over. I'm not going to take the camera back around again, but we'll get there. This project's only a temporary repair. I just want it to hold until I can do something later. I'm using scrap for the whole project, and I didn't want to have to go get any more screws. And I remembered when I bought my compressor, it came with 2 brad nailers and this stapler. So I'm going to attempt to staple this outer piece in place. It's going to be fun to hold with the roll in the coil, but we'll see what I can get done. Doesn't want it to staple anymore. I'll have to look at it later. The cord wasn't long enough to plug it in the RV. Looks like I'm going to need a little more caulk. I guess I should have cut that a little wider, but it's only a temporary thing. Well, I might clean that caulk up a little bit, but that's it for tonight. Well, for a temporary fix, I don't think that's too bad of a job. At least it should keep the weather out. If anybody tries to vandalize it again, they'll have a little harder time, at least with that window. And until I can come up with the funds to replace it, that's going to have to work. There's other places that my money has earmarks to go. What little I do have, just cut some 1x to wedge in on the edges here. Getting them out would be tough, but I just slid them in there. Some more scrap that I had. I think I'm definitely done on this for now. Well, it's not real pretty. It should keep the moisture out, and if a vandal tries anything with that window, at least they'll have a little bit harder time. Hopefully I won't have any more vandals coming and disturbing the RV. That's just unnecessary behavior. Thanks for watching. If you like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, or share.